Imagine buying an expensive car and deciding to leave it parked in a garage for months. The engine would still exist. The tires would still look fine. But slowly, almost invisibly, parts would begin to deteriorate simply because they were never used. Metals collect rust. Fluids settle. Batteries lose charge. Nothing dramatic happens overnight, yet when you finally try to drive it, it no longer performs the way it once did. Your body works in a surprisingly similar way. One of the most damaging habits after the age of 60 isn't eating dessert, forgetting a vitamin, or even missing an occasional workout. It's spending too much of the day sitting. At first, this sounds almost unbelievable. After all, sitting feels harmless. You're not lifting anything heavy. You're not running a marathon. You're simply watching television, reading a book, working at a computer, or chatting with family. How could something so comfortable slowly weaken the body? The answer lies in how your body interprets movement. Your muscles are constantly listening for instructions. Every time you stand up, climb stairs, carry groceries, or even walk across a room, your muscles receive a message that says, "You're still needed." In response, your body invests energy into maintaining them. It repairs damaged fibers, preserves strength, and keeps the muscles ready for tomorrow. But when hours pass without movement, the message changes. The body begins asking a different question. Why keep spending precious energy maintaining tissue that never gets used? Muscle is expensive. It requires calories, protein, oxygen, and constant maintenance. From an evolutionary perspective, if a muscle isn't being used, conserving energy by shrinking it makes perfect sense. Unfortunately, what once helped humans survive during food shortages now works against us in modern life. This process doesn't wait until you're bedridden. Research shows that even a few days of significantly reduced activity can begin lowering muscle protein synthesis, the process responsible for repairing and building muscle. As we grow older, this becomes even more important because aging muscles already respond less efficiently to everyday activity, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. The effects reach far beyond the muscles themselves. When you sit for long periods, your large leg muscles remain inactive. These muscles normally act like powerful pumps that help push blood back toward the heart. Without regular contractions, circulation becomes less efficient. Blood tends to pool more in the lower body, making legs feel heavy and increasing stiffness when you finally stand. Your joints also depend on movement. Unlike many tissues in the body, cartilage has very little direct blood supply. Instead, it receives nutrients through the gentle compression and release that occurs when you move. Walking, standing, bending, and changing positions all help nourish the joints. Long hours in one position deprive them of this natural maintenance, which is why the first few steps after sitting often feel stiff and uncomfortable. The brain notices the difference as well. Movement stimulates circulation to the brain and activates networks involved in balance, coordination, and reaction time. Every step is actually a small conversation between your eyes, inner ears, nerves, muscles, and brain. The less often these systems communicate, the less efficiently they work together. Over months and years, this contributes to slower reactions and poorer balance. Two major risk factors for falls after age 60. The encouraging news is that your body doesn't expect perfection. It simply responds to regular reminders that you're still active. Standing up every 30 to 60 minutes, taking a short walk around the house, climbing a flight of stairs, stretching while waiting for the kettle to boil, or choosing to walk instead of sitting whenever possible, all send powerful biological signals. These small moments of movement may seem insignificant on their own, but together they tell your body something important. Keep the muscles. Keep the strength. We'll need them tomorrow. That's how independence is protected, not by avoiding movement, but by making movement an ordinary part of every single day. Think about building a brick wall. Every day, wind, rain, and time remove a few tiny pieces. If no one replaces those bricks, the wall doesn't collapse all at once. It simply becomes a little weaker each year until one day a section gives way. Most people would never blame that single day for the collapse. The damage had been accumulating quietly for years. Your muscles follow a similar pattern. After the age of 60, your body naturally loses muscle mass with each passing decade. This process, known as sarcopenia, is one of the biggest reasons older adults become weaker, slower, and less independent. But here's the surprising part: much of that decline isn't caused by aging alone. It's often made worse by a simple daily habit: eating too little protein. Many people assume that if they eat enough food, their muscles will take care of themselves. But calories and protein are not the same thing. A bowl of rice, a slice of toast, or a plate of pasta may satisfy hunger and provide energy, yet they don't necessarily give the body enough of the raw materials needed to repair muscle tissue. Every day, your muscles are constantly breaking down and rebuilding. It's a normal cycle, like renovating a house one room at a time. Tiny amounts of damage occur whenever you walk, lift objects, or climb stairs. The body repairs that damage using amino acids, the building blocks that come from protein. If enough amino acids are available, the repairs keep muscles healthy and strong. If they aren't, the repairs become incomplete, and muscle gradually disappears. As we age, another challenge appears. Scientists call it anabolic resistance. It sounds complicated, but the idea is surprisingly simple. Imagine trying to ring someone's doorbell. When you're young, one press is enough for the person inside to hear it. As you grow older, it's as if the doorbell becomes quieter. Now it takes a firmer press before anyone notices. Older muscles behave in much the same way. They don't respond to small amounts of protein as effectively as they once did. The same breakfast that maintained muscle at age 30 may barely stimulate muscle repair at age 70. The body simply needs a stronger nutritional signal. One amino acid deserves special attention. It's called leucine, and you can think of it as the switch that tells muscle building machinery to turn on. Foods naturally rich in high-quality protein, such as eggs, fish, dairy products, lean meat, soy foods, and legumes, contain leucine along with the other amino acids muscles need. But even leucine can't do its job if the total amount of protein is too low. Another common mistake is saving nearly all protein for dinner. Many older adults eat toast or cereal for breakfast, a light sandwich for lunch, and then a large serving of meat in the evening. Unfortunately, muscles don't store protein the way they store fat or carbohydrates. They respond best when they receive adequate protein several times throughout the day. Giving your muscles multiple opportunities to rebuild is usually more effective than providing one large serving at night. Protein also does more than maintain muscle size. Strong muscles help control blood sugar, support healthy metabolism, protect bones by placing gentle stress on them, improve balance, and make everyday activities easier. Standing from a chair, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, or catching yourself during a stumble all depend on muscles that have been properly nourished. This doesn't mean eating excessive amounts of protein or following extreme diets. More isn't always better. Individual protein needs vary depending on age, body size, activity level, and certain medical conditions, especially kidney disease, so it's important for some people to discuss their diet with a healthcare professional or registered dietitian. The important lesson is this: after 60, protein is no longer just another nutrient on the plate. It's a daily signal that tells your body your muscles are still worth maintaining. Every protein-rich meal is a message that says, keep this strength, keep this independence. There's still work to do tomorrow. Over months and years, those messages can make the difference between simply growing older and remaining capable, confident, and active well into your 80s and beyond. Many people believe that if they take a walk every day, they've checked the exercise box. Walking is wonderful. It supports heart health, improves mood, helps control blood sugar, and keeps you mobile. But imagine owning a beautiful house and only cleaning the front porch while ignoring the foundation. The porch may look excellent, yet the parts holding the entire structure together continue to weaken. Your body works much the same way. After the age of 60, one of the biggest mistakes is believing that walking alone is enough to preserve strength. Walking is primarily an endurance activity. It keeps you moving, but it doesn't place enough demand on many muscles to stop the gradual loss of strength that comes with aging. Your muscles operate on a simple principle. They adapt to the work they're asked to do. If you regularly lift, push, pull, squat, or rise from a chair without using your hands, your muscles receive a clear message that they are still needed. They respond by repairing themselves and becoming better prepared for the next challenge. If that challenge never comes, the opposite happens. The body quietly begins removing what it sees as unnecessary tissue. Muscle fibers become smaller. The nervous system sends weaker signals to the muscles. Tasks that once felt effortless begin requiring more concentration and energy. Standing up from a low chair becomes slower. Carrying groceries feels heavier. Climbing stairs requires holding the railing. This decline often happens so gradually that people hardly notice it. Instead of recognizing muscle loss, they simply think, "I'm getting older." But aging and inactivity are not the same thing. Scientists have repeatedly shown that older muscles remain remarkably adaptable. Even people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond can increase strength when they perform safe resistance exercises consistently. The body may respond more slowly than it did at 30, but it never completely loses its ability to adapt. Strength training is only part of the story. Balance deserves equal attention because balance isn't something you're born with forever. It's a skill that requires constant practice. Every time you stand on one foot while putting on a shoe, step over a curb, or recover after tripping on uneven ground, your brain is coordinating information from your eyes, inner ears, joints, and muscles in fractions of a second. Like any skill, balance improves with use and fades with neglect. This becomes especially important because most serious injuries after 60 don't happen during exercise. They happen during ordinary moments. Reaching into a cabinet, stepping off a sidewalk, turning too quickly, or getting up at night to use the bathroom. Often, the problem isn't the stumble itself. It's the inability to react quickly enough to prevent the fall. Strong muscles give you that extra fraction of a second. Powerful legs can catch your weight before you hit the ground. Stable hips help keep your center of gravity where it belongs. Strong core muscles reduce excessive swaying, while good balance allows your brain to make rapid corrections almost automatically. The encouraging news is that you don't need complicated machines or a gym membership to build these abilities. Simple movements like chair stands, wall push-ups, gentle squats, step-ups, heel raises, and standing on one leg while holding a sturdy support can challenge the body safely. Resistance bands or light hand weights can provide additional stimulus as strength improves. The goal isn't to become a bodybuilder. It's to preserve the physical abilities that make everyday life easier. Consistency matters far more than intensity. 10 or 20 minutes performed several times each week can produce meaningful improvements over time. Small gains accumulate, and those gains translate directly into greater confidence, better mobility, and a lower risk of falls. The real purpose of strength and balance training isn't bigger muscles or impressive workouts. It's maintaining the freedom to get out of a chair without help, carry your own groceries, climb stairs without fear, play with grandchildren, recover if you lose your footing, and continue living life on your own terms. Those everyday victories are built one safe movement at a time, and they're worth protecting long after your 60th birthday. Imagine hiring a maintenance crew to take care of your home, but only allowing them to work for a couple of hours before sending them away every night. At first, the house would still look fine. A loose hinge would go unfixed. Dust would begin to collect in hidden corners. Small cracks would remain unrepaired. Months later, those tiny problems would have grown into major ones. Not because the workers lacked skill, but because they never had enough time to do their job. Sleep is your body's maintenance crew. Many people think of sleep as simply a period when the brain switches off. In reality, it is one of the busiest times your body experiences. While you rest, countless repair processes begin. Muscles recover from the day's activity. Hormones are carefully regulated, memories are organized, the immune system performs essential work, and damaged cells are repaired. None of this is visible, but it is happening every single night. After the age of 60, these repair processes become even more valuable because the body no longer bounces back as quickly as it once did. Recovery takes longer. Muscle repair is slower. Inflammation tends to linger. This means good sleep isn't just about feeling refreshed in the morning. It's about giving your body the opportunity to stay strong enough for the years ahead. Unfortunately, Many older adults begin treating poor sleep as something they simply have to accept. They wake up several times during the night, struggle to fall back asleep, or sleep only a few hours before starting the day. Over time, they stop seeing it as a health issue and start thinking, that's just what happens when you get older. While sleep patterns do change with age, constantly poor sleep should never be dismissed as harmless. Think about what happens after a day of physical activity. Tiny tears develop in muscle fibers. That sounds alarming, but it's actually normal. These microscopic changes are the signal that muscles need to become stronger. During sleep, the body begins repairing those fibers using nutrients gathered throughout the day. If sleep is repeatedly shortened or interrupted, that repair process becomes less efficient. Over weeks and months, the body struggles to keep up. Hormones are affected as well. Some hormones help regulate appetite, while others support muscle maintenance, energy balance, and tissue repair. Chronic sleep deprivation can disturb these delicate systems, making people feel hungrier, less energetic, and less motivated to stay physically active. It's a cycle that feeds itself. Less sleep leads to less movement. Less movement contributes to weaker muscles, and weaker muscles make daily activities feel more exhausting. The brain also pays a price. During healthy sleep, memories are strengthened, unnecessary information is cleared away, and connections between brain cells are reinforced. Without enough quality sleep, concentration becomes more difficult, reaction times slow down, and decision-making can become less sharp. For older adults, even a slight delay in reaction time can increase the risk of falls or accidents. The immune system depends on sleep too. Every night, immune cells communicate, coordinate, and prepare for future challenges. Consistently poor sleep has been linked to reduced immune function and higher levels of chronic inflammation, both of which are associated with many diseases that become more common later in life. The encouraging news is that improving sleep often begins with surprisingly simple habits. Keeping a regular bedtime, getting morning sunlight, staying physically active during the day, limiting caffeine late in the afternoon, reducing bright screen exposure before bed, and creating a quiet, comfortable sleeping environment all help strengthen the body's internal clock. If persistent insomnia, loud snoring, or repeated pauses in breathing occur, discussing these symptoms with a healthcare professional is important because treatable sleep disorders are common in older adults. The goal isn't to chase perfect sleep every single night. Everyone has restless nights from time to time. What matters is recognizing that sleep is not wasted time. It is an investment. Every good night's rest gives your muscles a chance to recover, your brain an opportunity to reset, and your body the resources it needs to face another day. When you protect your sleep, you're not just preparing for tomorrow morning. You're helping protect your strength, resilience, and independence for many years to come. Imagine two gardeners standing in front of identical trees. One looks at a branch that has stopped growing and says, "Well, it's old. There's nothing more to be done." The other trims away the dead wood, waters the roots, adds fertilizer, and gives the tree more sunlight. Months later, new leaves begin to appear. The difference wasn't the tree. It was the expectation of what the tree was still capable of becoming. The human body often responds in much the same way. Perhaps the most dangerous habit after the age of 60 isn't physical at all. It begins in the mind. It's the quiet belief that weakness, stiffness, and loss of independence are simply unavoidable parts of getting older. Once that belief takes hold, it changes behavior in subtle but powerful ways. People stop trying. They stop taking the stairs because they assume they can't. They stop lifting groceries because they think someone younger should do it. They avoid long walks because they expect to become tired. They give up hobbies that require movement because they convince themselves those years are behind them. At first, these decisions seem harmless. In fact, they often feel sensible. Why risk discomfort? Why challenge the body when aging is inevitable? The problem is that the body pays close attention to what you ask of it. If you stop asking your muscles to work, they become weaker. If you stop challenging your balance, it gradually declines. If you stop solving problems, learning new skills, or staying socially engaged, the brain receives fewer opportunities to strengthen the connections that support memory, attention, and decision-making. The body is constantly adapting. It never asks whether you're young or old. It simply responds to the signals you provide every day. This idea surprises many people because we've been taught to think of aging as a straight line leading only downward. While certain biological changes are unavoidable, the speed and extent of decline vary enormously from one person to another. Scientists have repeatedly shown that lifestyle choices can influence muscle strength, cardiovascular fitness, balance, brain health, and even the risk of developing many chronic diseases later in life. Consider someone who begins resistance training in their 70s. They won't develop the body of a 20-year-old, but they can gain strength, improve walking speed, climb stairs more easily, and reduce their risk of falling. Someone who starts eating a more balanced diet after decades of poor nutrition can still improve muscle health and metabolic function. A person who begins walking every day after years of inactivity often notices increased energy, better mood, and improved endurance within weeks. The body may not rewind the clock, but it can certainly change its direction. One reason this matters is that confidence itself influences physical ability. Researchers sometimes describe this as a self-fulfilling cycle. People who believe they are fragile often move less carefully, avoid activity, and become weaker over time. Those who believe improvement is possible are more likely to stay active, practice healthy habits, and maintain the abilities they already have. This doesn't mean ignoring limitations or pretending that aging doesn't exist. Wisdom includes recognizing when to modify an exercise, use a handrail, wear supportive footwear, or seek medical advice when necessary. The goal isn't denial. It's refusing to confuse normal aging with unnecessary decline. There's also another benefit to letting go of limiting beliefs. Curiosity returns. Instead of asking, "What can I no longer do?" the question becomes, "What can I still improve?" That small change in perspective opens the door to new habits, healthier routines, stronger relationships, and greater confidence. Growing older doesn't mean the body stops listening. Every nutritious meal, every walk, every strength exercise, every good night's sleep, and every new challenge sends another message that says, "I'm still using this body. Keep it ready." And remarkably, the body often answers. The greatest mistake isn't getting older. It's assuming that because the calendar has changed, your potential has disappeared. In reality, your body continues adapting for as long as you continue giving it a reason to do so. Strength, resilience, and independence are not reserved for the young. They are qualities that can be nurtured at every stage of life. One choice, one habit, and one day at a time.